Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 4 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on recognizing God's hand in my life. Today, um, today's video is for what happened like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I have just been putting off doing it, which is really dumb because I did truly recognize God's hand in my life for the whole day, and I am so grateful for that. But I went to court to fight a ticket. It was my court date, and I still don't think that I should have got the ticket or had to pay for it, but I had a feeling I was going to have to. But I read my scriptures and meditations before I went because I wanted to make sure I had that extra spiritual boost. And then I was writing, praying to know what God needed me to know for the day. And it was mostly just to remember that life is about lessons, and I don't have to hold on to the past. I don't have to hold on to everything that's happening, but I can learn from what's going on. I can learn from the events, and I don't have to continue to replay them in my mind. I'm still replaying them. I still haven't learned that. I still hold on to things, but I was grateful for the lesson, for the concept. And it was a day of lessons, basically. And the really interesting thing is the judge or hearing officer was kind enough to lower the fine. So I paid almost a third of what the original fine was, so it was totally worth fighting the ticket just so I could get the fine down reduced. But I still got the ticket, and then at the end, when it was over, he said, "I hope you learned something today." And I just I just thought that was so God telling me that He was there in my life, and because He told me before I went that it was going to be about lessons, and this day was going to be about lessons and not about what I wanted, and I wasn't going to get my way, but I was going to learn. And I did learn some things. I'm not sure that I think that's very fair, but apparently you can get a parking ticket if you stop anywhere, like pulled over on the side of the street or in a turning lane or anything like that, and some officer sees you and you're just stop there for whatever reason because you're blocking traffic. So unless you can prove that you have a valid reason for being there, you can get a ticket, even if you only stop for like 2 seconds or 2 minutes and you don't get out of your car. You can still get a parking ticket. It's still a parking violation because you were stopped. And I was like, that doesn't entirely make sense, especially if you're stuck in traffic. But you can still get a ticket for it. So even if you're just confused, you're pulling over to try to figure out where you're going, I guess, unless you turn your hazards on or something. They didn't say turn your hazards on. Safer to pull into a parking lot or a parking spot to sort that out instead of, not that I was in the middle of traffic for that purpose anyway. It had to do with work that I was there, and but nonetheless, I still got the ticket. So, but it was a learning lesson for me, and then of course I went to work after court. And I was really grateful that I was able to have a positive outlook and to be able to just, mention it to one or two people at work. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to talk about this the rest of the day. And I was able to go about the rest of my day and not feel completely discouraged or despondent or not completely give up. And I actually put in a lot of hours for the night. And I felt really grateful and really blessed that I was able to do that. And I was a little disappointed I didn't get the bonus I was shooting for because I stayed out extra late for that. But I think I was more disappointed about not getting my bonus than I was about not getting out of my ticket in court, which is really funny to me anyway. But it helped me to see that God knows what's going on, and He knows what's going to happen in my life before I do, and that He can prepare me for what is coming and what will be coming. I just need to be willing to listen and pay attention and to accept whatever the outcome is, even if it's not necessarily what I want it to be. So, not what I wanted it to be, but still grateful to see it more as a lesson instead of I failed or I'm being mistreated or life is so unfair or I just going to be depressed and discouraged and give up because why try when I don't get anything that I want. All of those responses are things that I have had in the past, things that I have thought, things that I have done, all of them. And this time I didn't do any of them because I I went prepared. I went knowing that God was there, knowing that I wasn't going to win, but I still needed to be there. And part of me was like, when I knew I wasn't going to win, I was like, why am I even bothering to go? I'll just pay the dumb ticket, except I don't have the money to pay it. But so I went so I could just set up some kind of payment arrangements. And then, of course, they reduced the fine. And I was like, well, it's not really what I wanted to spend my money on, but I'm like, I'll pay it just so I don't have to deal with making a payment plan for that amount of money. It wasn't worth it. So I am just feeling very grateful and very blessed for how that all turned out, and grateful to know that God sees things in me and in my life that I don't necessarily see or know, and that it's all going to be okay, and lots of lessons to be learned in life and from life. So instead of looking at things as being disappointed or discouraged because it didn't go the way that I wanted it to, maybe I can see the lesson in it, maybe I can see the experience, I can learn and grow from it instead of being discouraged and giving up. Now, if there's somehow I could actually internalize all of that instead of just mentally be aware of it, that would be fantastic. But I think that's one of those things from my 12-step program they always talk about. There's the 3 A's. There's the awareness, acceptance, and action. And for me, I think there's that, I know it in my brain, and it's that process of getting it into my heart, internalizing it, making it becoming a part of who I am and how I respond to things. So this is just the beginning of a lesson and learning and slowly starting to internalize all of these things. But the more I practice it, the better I get at it. And I am grateful for the opportunity to put into practice what I was told or taught before I went. So I'm just grateful also for that knowledge and reminder. Not that I ever have any doubt that God is real, but it's just, to me, it's just added proof, added testimony that he is real, he is there, he is aware, and he knows everything, even before it's going to happen, which is amazing. And I am so very grateful for that, and feel very blessed to have that knowledge and that relationship with God. And I know that I only get those tidbits of insight and revelation and preparation for what's going to come when I'm in tune and I'm listening and I'm asking God what's going on and what I need to know and what I need to do. And I don't always remember to do that. So I feel very blessed and very grateful on the days that I do ask and that I do pay attention, because I always learn something, and it's always something that's meant to help me to grow and to be better. And I am very grateful for that. So that is all I have for today. If you have any stories you'd like to share about how God has blessed you in your life, please write them in the comments below. I would love to see them. If you like these videos, you can hit like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like them too. And I hope you have a great day full of gratitude and find some ways to recognize God's hand in your life too.